Hey everybody, John and Lance from the bench. Mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hit subscribe right now so that you can get all of our Sports Map HOU content. Hey, the playoffs have heated up, and there's plenty of reasons, Lance, for Houston fans to be invested. Now we can look back at the Harden trade with a little more perspective. Considering how everything turned out, should the Rockets be relieved that they didn't trade Harden for Ben Simmons?
Yeah, of course they should be. Because then you'd be on the hook for more millions and millions. You'd be on the hook for a contract that has 4 years left on it. And this guy just shriveled up in the worst way. I mean, took no shots in the fourth quarter over the last 4 games of that series. That is unbelievable that is a $30 million a year guy. And by the way, those numbers are only going up each year. John, I had some insight into this. Apparently, the Rockets had 3 different offers, and they took the Nets offer. And I think Daryl had an offer out there, and I think Ben Simmons was part of it, but it just wasn't good enough to get there with what the Nets were offering. But just avoiding Ben Simmons' contract is a major, major win for the Houston Rockets. And now, with the Nets losing this year, you got to hope for the Nets to not play well next year or have issues next year, because if you're the Rockets, if you're a Rocket fan, you're cheering for bad Nets. Break up the Nets so that your draft picks become much, much better over time. I think that while we were disappointed with some elements of the trade as the season wore on, when we saw how Karis LeVert was playing, for example, there's just no question that the Ben Simmons thing, wow. Could you imagine getting out of these contracts and then getting stuck with another contract like that? Even though Ben Simmons, I think, has talent, he just shrunk so badly.
Shrunk worse. Ben Simmons in Game 7 or James Harden against the Spurs in Game 6?
Oh, no, that was James. I mean, James was your Embiid.
I mean, we're
used to this. At least there was an Embiid. You had no Embiid. You lost by 40.
Right. We're used to this.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Yeah, I'm thrilled. I've never been a Ben Simmons fan. You can play defense, you can rebound, you can guard. I don't care, all of that stuff. You got to be able to score in the NBA.
You got to be a scorer.
And dude,
now.
he just can't. Now, as bad as the Rockets were, you traded James, so the Rockets were horrible. They potentially, we'll find out with the ping pong balls and everything else, if they pick in the top 4 this year, and then the Nets fall apart as well, making those picks more valuable. It's looking better and better. That James Harden trade is actually looking much better.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. Jayshawn Tate was in an all-rookie team. You have Christian Wood, who he's certainly most improved type player, obviously. So you look at Christian Wood and Jayshawn Tate, and we know Porter has talent. We just don't know if he can stay on track for how he needs to be as a professional. But you throw Cade Cunningham or Suggs or Green, one of these guys who was in the G League as well. There are some talented players inside those top 4 picks, and if you land inside those top 4 picks, and then somehow you can move John Wall's contract, maybe you end up finding room for free agency to start building a little bit. Maybe the draft picks you're going to have over the next 2 years, where you do have an abundance of draft picks coming your way, maybe the rebuild's a little quicker than we thought, John. So give it 3 or 4 years, and we'll see. We obviously don't have time in sports media. We have to assess everything immediately, but I wonder what these videos are going to look like in 4 years. I might be dead, hit by lightning.
Well,
I don't know. So maybe we can't do a video in 4 years.
Well, that's always a possibility. Yeah, I think
it's on the board.
No, listen, Christian Wood. If you get Cade Cunningham or Green or whomever you get, Suggs, whatever you get, those are a couple of guys that might draw a free agent too. Those are a couple of guys, hey, I want to go play. I want to go down there and play. If Porter, especially if Porter turns into a player as well, they got something good going on in Houston. So this is a possible place that could get a lot better within the next 2 or 3 years. Plus the swap with the Nets, if those guys all leave, this could be the start of something really, really good. But it starts with those ping pong balls, that's for sure.
Yeah, it does start with the ping pong balls. But keep in mind, though, the team right now that's the most exciting team in the NBA playoffs is the Phoenix Suns. And it's a team full of young players, a team full of guys who are getting better and better. You had a little veteran leadership, obviously, with Jay Crowder and with Chris Paul. but young players, young star players like Devin Booker, we remember seeing a bad Suns team, but a really good, talented Devin Booker. It's funny how quickly that can change when those young talents start to come together. It explodes rather quickly. So you throw some explosive talent together over a 2-year span, and you can be surprised at how quickly that those talented young players can become a dangerous playoff team.